Heyo, it is week 10 of the PTL. This week we're playing Dark Devil 27. I don't know the number after his name. Brendan and the Trenton Thundurus. So we bounced back last week, defeated Cameron 5-0. Good differential win. We are now 5-4 as of this battle. Brendan is 7-2, so he's actually 2 games up. We cannot catch him with a win here, but I would very definitely say the way the league table is looking, going 5-5 I wouldn't say that takes us out of the playoffs by any means, but I would certainly say that would put us in a situation where we have to win our last like 5 games, like to really have a good chance. And honestly, a loss could put us into like worrying relegation land, where it's like, oh, I dropped, all of a sudden I'm 5-8, and yeah, I'm going to D3 or whatever. It's not how that works. So if you look at my little graphic on the bottom right here, I've only colored in 4 of the things. I don't know if this is like intentional or if I just kind of like got bored of doing this, because sometimes like it's kind of jarring to give everything color and whatever. So basically, I found that the Jolteon being red is kind of like a retrospective whatever. I don't know if that's the right word. It's kind of like a hindsight thing, because I did a mock and Jolteon just beat me up. And the Mega Charizard X and Manaphy setting up is also scary, especially if I don't get damage on them first. And Mungus is just annoying, super annoying to deal with. I hate it. So basically, that's what I'm looking at. The rest is like, yeah, Landorus is like threatening, but whatever. And then Uxie and Klefki are kind of on the Amoonguss order, where they probably should be yellow, because I hate playing those mons. I hate playing Annoymons, and Klefki and Uxie are Annoymons. They Thunder Wave a lot. They they knock off or set up or do whatever. So whatever. So basically, here's a very defensive Slowbro with Psychium Z. So basically, the plan here is to have this do a ton of damage to Charizard, and potentially get him in a situation where like he tries to Dragon Dance, and then I get a huge Psychic hit off. It does like 70%, and then he either has to attack me, or I can just then Toxic and then take a hit, Scald, whatever, and go from there. So I'm obviously very physically defensive. This thing also is creeping Amoonguss, so if I'm in a situation where Charizard dies early, or I just want to KO Amoonguss, I could probably also do that with Psychic. It's actually the same like moveset as last week, but more physically defensive. I mean, some like Stock or Landorus I can take a hit from. So that'll be fine. No, it's fine. So Solbro did fine last week. It didn't do a lot, but it was there. So now Zero, we're actually not bringing Z this week, baby. Is it the first time? Maybe. I don't know. I honestly, I might have just gone 9 straight weeks of Zero. So we are Choice Scarfed. What this does is lets us outspeed +1 Mega Charizard X. It lets us outspeed a potential Z Rain Dance Manaphy. Lets us outspeed a Scarfed Landorus in theory. It just does a lot, and it lets me. I don't know why I still crept. Did I creep Jolteon? I don't think I crept Jolteon here. Does 180 is Jolteon hit 182? I don't know. Maybe I did creep Jolteon, but I was like, well, the scarf is just nice. It's my basically only good way to, because I mean, Superior Scarf also makes sense because I can Dragon Pulse the Charizard or Leaf Storm the Manaphy, or like Leaf Storm or whatever the Landorus, but it just doesn't have the same like surprise factor and damage output initially. So I went with Scarf Zera, and we'll see if that works. And I just have Plasma Fist to hit most of his team, knock off to do stuff, Outrage to KO the Charizard, and HPS for the Landers, whatever. Whatever. So here we have a very specially defensive Celesteela. So basically, besides, I mean, you can take a hit from Jolteon if it needs to, I guess, but it's like Manaphy's or basically like Landers has a tough time hitting this thing. I can Leaf Seed everything besides Amoonguss, and then I can Air Slash the Amoonguss, and I can also substitute on the Amoonguss, so that way you can't break mess up. So and Amoonguss has 30 speed, so even though I am minus speed nature with no EVs, I'm still going to outspeed an Amoonguss. And we can double check that by looking at Slowbro. Slowbro's only at 59 with 68, so, unless he's timid Amoonguss, nothing's going on there. And Earthquake to hit something like the Jolteon or the Charizard. So it's, Celesteela is going to be a very good defensive mon in this matchup. But there's another reason the Jolteon's such a big threat, because Zero Aura is both Scarfed and can't hit it very well. Celesteela and Slowbro are both hit by it. And my next mon, Superior, finally coming, is also hit by a either HP Ice or a Signal Beam. Jolteon could very easily bring an Expert Belt, do something like that. So I am Lumberry for something like a Klefki or an Uxie trying to damage me. I have like no special attack investment. I have enough speed, outspeed, I guess Zoroark, maybe just Manaphy and Charizard. I'm not really sure, but so I have defensive things. So basically, my plan is to late game bring this in on an Uxie or a Klefki, sub up on it, or even a Manaphy that wants to switch out, sub up on it and start and be able to basically set up with Leaf Storms and have them not be able to break my sub, and then I can get a sub up, have them almost do like 24% so it doesn't break, have a 1%, but it's a sub still up, and then he has to bring something into sack, and if it's late game, then hopefully he runs out of things to actually hit me with. So that's the plan here. Leaf Storm, Dragon Pulse, HP Fire hits his whole team pretty well. HP Fire hits his grass resists, and Dragon Pulse hits his other grass resists. I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. So here comes Altaria. I'm going to have Heal Bell because he loves to run status. I'm going to run Hyper Voice and Roost. I'm going to be max defense for a Charizard. And basically, Hyper Voice is going to be doing minimum half to Charizard, so he can't really just like sit in there and set up on me. I could eventually crit, stuff like that, and I can Perish Song if he's trying to set up with something, or like it's some weird niche situation where there's one mon left. I mean, I could have ran Flamethrower. I really should have ran Flamethrower, but at the same time, I can Roost and Heal Ball things, and I can Perish Song them and basically force them out so he can't just have something sitting on this Altaria. It's kind of a weird tech. Like I said, Flamethrower is the safer play, but it's just we'll see if this Altaria is able to do anything. But yeah, Heal Bell for things like Toxic, Thunder Wave, Spore, anything he wants to bring. So here's Skuntank is actually coming again, finally. I believe this is Skuntank's first reappearance since week 1 where it went for Memento. So, whatever. So I'm going to have Toxic, Defog, Substitute, and Crunch. Basically what this thing is going to do is be able to sub up on a Klefki, on an Uxie, on a Moongus. I can Toxic something like a Landorus on a switch. I can actually take a Landorus U-turn. I don't know what kind of set this takes a U-turn from, but I can take a U-turn from that, and so I can defog away any hazards he wants to put up, and I can also Crunch because it hits basically everything besides Klefki, and I mean Klefki and this thing will just sit in on each other, but at least I can defog. Well, yeah, I can defog the Klefki, and it can't prankster like Thunderwave me or something. I don't know. So Skuntank set is I'm bringing Substitute a lot between Superior, Celesteela, and Skuntank, but I think his team kind of lends itself to that. Basically, my main plan here is to not let Jolteon just be like volt switching around on me, and also not to let Manaphy or Charizard set up too hard. And see where it goes. This is like a very scary matchup for me. Like I know I only have 3 things colored, but I don't think that's like how it's supposed to be. Yeah, Brent's team is very good. Like Manaphy Charizard is just like such a obnoxious offensive like duo that I don't know how like commonly known or drafted they are, but like man, like it's really like one or the other of those two like tends to clean up in all his wins. So I mean I don't know, it's scary. But we'll see if I'm able to play around it. This is one of those games where it's like it's super important to win, and we're both good battlers. I don't know if that's like, a non-modest thing to say. And we both have decent teams. Our matchup's interesting against each other. He kind of has a couple things to break through me, and I have a lot of checks to everything on his team besides those 2. So it's kind of like I have a lot more defensive pressure than he has on me, but he has slightly more offensive pressure, I would say, especially with the sets I'm bringing. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to take some good play, I believe, and the battle has, I don't know, I panic at the last second. The battle's going to come up right now. Thanks for watching up to this point. Okay, baby. So, to start this, without spoiling anything, this is by far the longest draft league battle I have ever been a part of. I've probably been a part of longer, like, weird PP stall, what's it called, like, random battles and shit, or, like, ladder battles, but there's not even really PP stall. There's, like, theoretical PP stall in this game. So I tried to do recording real quick. I put it on fast, and it's way too fast. So we'll start normal, and we'll see how we have to go through some of these turns. So I'm gonna lead Altaria because I want to get the Mega up. I basically need to, but sucks. He leads a Moongus. It's a good lead for him. I should have kind of seen it coming. Any Spores, it's like okay, this is great. It's not like I could have gone Superior, wouldn't have done anything. So he's going to go Jolteon and Toxic me on the switch. Very good play. Now I know he's not choiced, which I guess is good. So I'm gonna go right for the knockoff, try to get his item, but I knock off the Black Sludge on this Amoonguss, which is nice for me. This Amoonguss is gonna come in on 0 every time, and he's just gonna Synthesis. But now I have my Skuntank strategy, so I can substitute, and I know he can't break it. And now he has to decide to U-turn or Earthquake or do whatever. So we don't see any sort of indication of what item he is. I didn't expect to, but he goes for Earthquake, I Toxic, and now he's going to go Jolteon, basically predicting Celesteela, which is, once again, a good play on his part. He likes to make those doubles. So this time I'm going to go back into Zeraora. I really don't think this thing has Synchro Noise, you know. So I'm just going to go for a knockoff again, try to knock it off, and Amoonguss is going to come in on the Zeraora every time, like I said. So I can go into Celesteela once again. He's going to go into Landorus this time, which is fine for me. But I'm just trying to get wake up turns on this freaking Celesteela. I'm obviously just going to be spamming Leech Seed here to see if I can get it. And I'm going to substitute because I could. So he's going to Volt Switch here. It's fine. I have leftover damage back. And he's going to go into Charizard on the Leech Seed. Good for me. And he's going to double into Jolteon, basically predicting Slowbro, maybe just, I don't know, but now I can get a free Mega up. He goes for HP Ice and just toasts my brain with that damage. I'm like, okay, well that's some expert belt HP Ice damage because I know he's not choiced. So I'm gonna Heal Bell, stay in on this thing, and let him spore me. So now Altaria is an annoying sleep mode, and it's my Heal Beller, so that's kind of annoying. I can go into Skuntank and Defog on this Amoonguss because I know it can't spore me. I'm gonna once again go into Zeraora on the Volt Switch. I thought maybe he probably thought I would predict the Toxic or whatever, so I'm gonna go for knockoff on the stupid Amoonguss every time. But now I can go to Celesteela, and I still don't have to worry about the Spore. And he decides to stay in. I don't know, goes for the Sludge Bomb, and I can Leech Seed. I can substitute. I can basically do whatever. And I'm going to actually call his over prediction, and where he's going to call mine. So he Toxics his Leech Seed. Had I Earthquake there, it would have been freaking awesome. Had he done anything else, it would have been great for me. So now I Earthquake to whatever. I do take a huge hit from Volt Switch, which sucks for me. But I'm actually going to once again predict his Switch and Leech Seed. So that's great. So now I can go into basically anything I want to go into, which turns out to be Zeraora. So I have to hope he's not Yachi and go for HP Ice as I do, and he goes into Amoonguss again. So he's going to Synthesis up. There's no reason really not to. I don't know if he knows Zero is Scarfed at this point. I kind of doubt it, but I'm going to go straight for the Crunch, get big damage on the Jolteon, which is awesome. And I'm going to go into Zera. This time he's going to Thunderbolt. So once again, I've been bringing in the Zera on this thing nicely. It can really hit me with HP Ice or Toxic, as I'm going to HP Ice again. So we're in this weird thing where Zera comes in on whatever, and whatever comes in on whatever. So I'm going to go into Zeraora as he Ice Beams me and gets the freeze. And I go, you sick son of a bitch. So I did Plasma Fist right here, and I don't think. But then I thought, so I knocked off his extra build that I knew he had. So we were in some really weird existence where that freeze helped me out because I was frozen. He went Jolteon, and I couldn't Plasma Fist. I don't know what I would have done. I wasn't going into Zera being like, okay, what am I going to do? I mean, he went for the Ice Beam, and it froze me. So, like, that second turn, I don't know if he was going to... I guess he was going to HP Ice me a couple times. But basically, that freeze unthawed at the perfect time for me to knock off a KO the Jolteon, which was awesome. I don't know if the freeze baited the Jolteon in, if he would have gone Landorus. I don't know, but it worked out just great for me, even though it was hacks, but like you know what I mean. Like you play around the hacks, and sometimes that messes up your own game plan, even if the hacks was in your favor. So now he can go Charizard. I can go not into Altaria because I am asleep. So he's gonna Dragon Dance. I know I can take any hit. Outrage does like 80 billion%, which sucks, but I can get 74% off, and he's also locked into Outrage. So I go into Altaria to try to preserve Slowbro as he actually gets confused, which is dope for me, and he misses an Iron Tail. Here's the thing that kind of mattered, but like it wouldn't have killed me, but it might have killed me. I don't know. I forgot that happened, so that was kind of hexing in my favor for sure. So I can go into Celesteela. Altaria's still asleep, and I substitute. I could have Air Slash there and just KO'd the Charizard, but now I have to worry about him roosting, but it's okay. He doesn't roost, and I get the Earthquake off and get the plus special defense. which is great. So now basically, before this thing scalds me and burns me, and it's annoying, I'm gonna seed it back. Here's the thing. So that burn is really big. Just for chip on the Celesteela, my lefties are now messed up. My substitutes are kind of messed up now. But basically, I got between Jolteon and Charizard, I've eliminated his offensive threats. So now his best bet is to kind of annoy me to death with things like this burn and coming in with Landorus and doing stuff and getting rocks up and a Moongus basically sporing anything if Altaria wakes up. So I'm in kind of still a bad spot, but we're turn 47 and I'm up 6-4. So I Air Slash the Moongus, which is awesome for me. It does 1,000,000 damage as he's gonna switch out to get regenerated back, not just stay in, which is fine. So now Uxie comes in and I don't want to get I don't really want to get like knocked off or have him set up screens or something. I really don't know what Uxie's gonna do, but he goes into Moongus on the Leech Seed, but then I substitute on the Moongus because it's in a Moongus. So I don't know if he expected me to switch, but now we see, especially with me hanging on to my +1 special defense, Manaphy cannot KO my sub, and I get a bunch of damage off on the Manaphy, and I'm able to get a net gain of health. And so I'm going to go into Altaria, basically hoping I can wake up against this freaking Manaphy scalding me. But he's just going to go into Moongus. I'm going to stay asleep. I don't know how many turns I've been asleep. That might have been the second turn, honestly. That might have been my first chance to wake up. But now I can go into Skuntank, and I can substitute on this guy. I know he can't break my sub, and now he's using up Sludge Bomb. So remember when I mentioned that PP stall thing? We're getting kind of into PP stall territory, because Amoonguss is the last thing really messing up my team. And, without it, like, Serp can sweep. And he has 16 Sludge Bombs, which is a lot, but he's had to use quite a few already. He's used at least like 4 or 5, and so here's the thing. I'm crunching. I'm trying to get special defense drops. I'm trying to do whatever, just regular defense drops. He's gonna Synthesis. Okay, that's annoying. But also annoying enough, my Skuntank is getting whittled down, so he's gonna start going for Giga Drains. Seeing that damage, knows that they can still 2-hit KO my sub over the regular move. So it's whatever. So he's going to go into this. Basically, have to take a Leech Seed or an Air Slash. I'm going to go for Air Slash. It doesn't KO the Manaphy, and I don't want to really have to take a hit. So I'm going to go into Superior and take a Scald. So that's great for me. It doesn't burn my Lumberry, which is great. So I'm going to Leaf Storm here. I don't know. So I'm going to go back into Celesteela. We're thinking he's another Sludge Bomb. So that's great. Got this battle. Million years. So he goes into Uxie, Air Slash, Leech Seed. What am I going to do? So I'm going to go into Skuntank. I don't really know what he wants to do here, if he's just going to damage me, but I figure Skuntank can be in on this Uxie. So there's the Reflect that I was worried about. Based on his no item, he may very well, that's English, be Light Clay. But it's okay, I have to Fog on the Skuntank. The Toxic over the sub on that Reflect would have been great for getting the Uxie to die to death. But that's okay. So he's using more Sludge Bombs. I'm not entirely sure because, like I said, he's getting low. He's probably under 10 now for sure. So there's Celesteela. It comes back in. I'm gonna be able to Leech Seed. I'm gonna be able to Air Slash. I predict the Uxie and I get the Leech Seed off. So here I'm gonna go for another. Doesn't matter what move I go. He Mementos, so that's like fine because like what's he gonna do with my lowered offense? I can just Leech Seed. So he's gonna Rocks up. I'm gonna go for a Leech Seed and miss. So that was pretty big because that's extra damage on this Landorus, and it's a pain in the ass. So I can Leech Seed again. Whatever. He brings in a Moongus. So now I'm like low on life. He has now gotten a Stealth Rocks up. So now I can decide whether or not I want to defog, whether or not I want to do whatever. So here's, he Sludge Bombs me. I live one more thing. I got the rocks away, which is fine with me. So I'm going to keep that around just in case I need to Death Water something later rather than just let it die. Because I know I can go into Celesteela. I am burned, so he can't sleep me, but Altaria's been asleep this whole time. So here we go. Hey, that's interesting. What health is he at? Oh, 19. Should he be missing 12 more from a Leech Seed? He sure should. That's okay. I'll Leech Seed here. Oh, I miss again. So now this thing should be dead. And now Celesteela has lost. The knockoff would have happened anyways, but I should have way more health. So now I go into Altaria on the knockoff. That thing dies. I'm trying to wake up and make him use sludge bombs basically. So now I have to go into slow bro, take a sludge bomb. He's gonna poison me. Annoying. I have slack off. I mean, we could have gotten into some weird war where I can slack off his health, but he Giga Drains me. But luckily I caught him, get a big damage off on the thing. So now here's where the knockoff and the burn all come into play because he's gonna start trying to stall me out with this freaking Amoonguss. So now I actually get the flinch, which is amazing. So basically, yeah, what happened there is he was able to stall my burnout after all the shit that happened, and I can just Dragon Pulse with Serp. And it's a 90 turn battle. He actually ice beams me because he's scarfed and he freezes me, but I have a Lumberry. So very nearly. Well, let's think about that. Let's think about that freeze, okay? Superior outsped at 24% dies. Zero or 61%. We already saw it could live in Ice Beam, and I'm scarfed. Doesn't matter, actually. Okay. Altaria, 30% dead. Skuntank, 8% dead. So, in theory, I was actually always going to win that game. That just saved me a differential point. But, I don't know. It was an interesting game. Zera did not come in after that, like, Iron Tail missed, I think. So, like, I don't know how much that mattered. Besides the fact that Zera scared the Charizard out. I don't know. It was just like, but he was confused anyway. So the fact that he didn't hit himself in confusion was also kind of luck. Even though a 50% versus a 75% is obviously more in his favor. 90 turn battle. It took forever. There was a lot of shenanigans. I basically was stalling him out. Like I said, in theory, had I not gotten that air slash flinch with Celesteela, I literally would have had to. I would have had to stall out his sludge bombs, and basically that would have required. Altario was in a position where it probably would have woken up next turn. I could have roosted all his sludge bombs away. He would have had to like Giga Drain. It would have been a whole thing. I could have Perish Song. Like Altario was there. Like in theory, just this is the hypothetical. If Altario woke up, he was gonna have to run out of sludge bombs or go into Manaphy or something. I could, he had Giga Drains to use against everything else. I also had Substitute on Serp, which he would not have known until the first sludge bomb. So I probably would have gone alt, tried and woken up, install some sludge bombs. Maybe he keeps one or whatever. But then he goes for Giga Drain, and then he realizes he's gonna be. I'm gonna be setting up on him. Maybe that was his last one. I don't know. And then, in theory, if I keep Zero Aura alive, I can kill Manaphy no matter what, even if it's scarfed because I'm scarfed. So like there was an exit for that not getting that flinch with Celesteela, but after missing two Leech Seeds and getting burned, like the Celesteela, at least maybe not me, maybe the Celesteela itself deserved the flinch. So I mean, there were. I'm not saying he couldn't have actually stalled me out with Amoonguss, and I'm not saying that that would have like tilted me, and I would have started making bad plays and not thought about the PP of Sludge Bomb because I think he had 4 left at that point. But like you it's just like it's all hypotheticals, and the battle went the way it did. So it was a 4-0 win. It was one of the things where I was like, it was kind of like a weird 4-0 where like I was in the driver's seat for a lot of the battle. Like the second like Jolteon and Charizard were down, it was like him like crawling back with hacks, even though like I said up to that point he had missed that Iron Tail. So I mean, and then maybe that Iron Tail didn't kill, but maybe you put me in Manaphy Ice Beam range, but I was still scarfed and outsped it. So whatever. It's a lot of hypotheticals, but we won, baby. A lot of good, not like good prep, but like my prep worked out perfectly. I can thank D-Train for the Serp didn't actually come into play besides Lum. Lum was my idea. I think. I don't know. Lum was either of our ideas. But the Skuntank taking substitute hits and all the substitutes was definitely helpful from D-Train, helping me prep. We went to the lab on this one. And so I go up to 6-4. Brendan drops to 7-3. We're back in it. We won 2 in a row. We're no longer even. We're not. I don't think we qualify in top 4 at this point still because like Salty. There were like 3. There was like 3 7-win. There was 2. I don't know. There's like. I don't know if Salty was 8-1 at this point had he lost his first battle, but there was 3 wins, 3 teams with 7 or more wins, which means that I'm at 6 wins, and maybe if I win the differential play, but I don't remember if a 6-win team won this week, so now there's more than 7-win teams, whatever. Worthless to talk about. I guess I'll put the table up for this because that's my new plan. So whatever. Thanks for watching this long ass dumb battle that I won. That was kind of like wonky. Hacks kind of like threw a loop into both of our plans. Like it didn't really benefit either of us. I think it hurt me a little bit more, but like I think we both got hurt certainly more than either one benefited. So whatever. That's how it goes. Thanks for watching, and see ya for next week. We'll continue in theory, the streak, baby, the 2-win streak, it's out of control.